Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about the WWE Crown Jewel 2025 review. Just to give you guys a heads up, I know this video is coming out to you guys extremely late than what I said it would be, and I apologize for that. But I actually am going through the midst of selling my home, and just in the last hour, I was getting ready to watch the co-main event and the main event matches that were coming up, and around 10:30, I had to start preparing to have pictures taken of my house so that they can be put on the market. And then I had a ton of other things I was doing throughout the day, and then I watched the UFC event and so forth. So I sincerely apologize to you guys for not being able to produce this video as soon as I said I would. So again, I apologize to you guys. Greatly appreciate the viewership increase on the AEW Dynamite, Bait and Switch Tuesday episode, as I would call it, instead of Title Tuesday, because there was definitely, it did not feel like a night of championship title defenses, if you really want to know the truth. But I will be covering AEW Wrestle Dream. I did purchase the pay-per-view, but I purchased it through the VPN for $24.99. I may even provide you guys a review on TNA, the TNA pay-per-view event Bound for Glory. I did purchase that one as well for $19.99 through the VPN. So I will be giving you guys a review on both. I'll be giving you a review on TNA Bound for Glory. I have been watching the episodes week by week, so I do know what I know what's going on in the promotion. I just have not been reviewing it, as you can tell. But I have been keeping up with the episodes. TNA has been keeping my interest week after week. They've been producing, I would say they're the underestimated promotion in the US right now. I honestly think TNA is providing the best entertainment quality known to man. I think they have amazing talent. Leon Slater is having a match with Javon Evans at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. And currently right now, Javon Evans and Leon Slater are minus 120 on Bet Online to bet on. I'm very tempted on it, but I've already bet on the Crown Jewel event with Seth Rollins in the main event, and I knew he was going to win that. I won $25 on a $70 bet, or $75 bet. So my attitude was, nah, don't test your luck. Just, leave it as is. Be satisfied. And if you're going to purchase the event, purchase it because you just want to watch it, enjoy it, and if you're going to do anything besides bet on it, give a review on it so you can get some content on the channel. And that's what we're going to do here tomorrow after the show is over. I'm going to give you guys a review on TNA Bound for Glory. And I might start covering TNA on a week-to-week basis. I don't know yet if that's what I'm going to do, but I will give you a yay or nay on that at some point and see if that is something worth my time of actually going out and doing. But without further ado, let's get into the WWE Crown Jewel event for 2025 review. I'm going to say this. I think this show is a B show. I think it was right where it needed to be. It didn't have any world championship matches. It did have some good stories, especially with Seth and Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins, folks, I gotta say, Seth Rollins' attire was unbelievable. I mean, his pants his his tights literally had all the different patterns on his old tights from the 3 different previous matches that the two had in their career against each other. I think that was freaking awesome. Nice touch there. Especially showing the fact that he has lost to him all 3 times. He wore all those different patterns that he had on his tights going into this match to finally get his W and pick up a victory, which I'll get into how that happened. The first match of the night actually was Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in a Australian street fight. This was a fun matchup. And the ending was really good because it helped Bronson Reed, number 1, get a victory. Number 2, push along a story that's more important than Roman Reigns getting even with the Vision. This is starting to develop again with his cousins, the Usos. And he basically told them he doesn't want to see their asses anymore. He told them to stay out of this match, focus on themselves, and go do their own thing. He was doing his match. He seemed like he had some things under control, except for Braun Breaker getting involved. He speared Roman Reigns in the middle of this match once Roman started gaining some momentum. And the Usos came down to even out the odds, as they should. He didn't have a fair shot at winning this match, so their attitude was, let's go down and help Roman try to even out the odds for him so he can have a shot at winning this thing. And that's what they tried to do. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. It caused Roman Reigns to get an L here. Jey Uso accidentally speared Roman Reigns through the table that was set in the corner, and it caused him to get an L in this match. So he ends up losing the matchup, and that's that. Roman was pissed at the Usos. He didn't want to see them anymore around him. Just stay the hell away from me, is what he said. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He said this shit is all the time. I tell you guys to just stay out of it. You get involved. I don't want to see you guys anymore. Just stay out of my matches. And they were really confused. They thought they were doing the right thing, as they really were. They were doing the right thing, but it cost them the match, unfortunately. So his attitude is, if I'm going to go ahead and lose, I'll lose on my own. I don't need anyone else's help, even if the odds are stacked against me. Okay, great. I honestly think, and might sound crazy, I honestly think Jimmy Uso going to Seth Rollins, and, Seth Rollins kind of pulling some strings, getting in Jimmy's head and everything, and saying, because they're going to need some other partners for this War Games match that's coming up in November. So what better way to do that than to get Jimmy to turn on his brother Jay, which he's already done in the past, but not also that, but also to join Seth Rollins in his vision, saying that Jimmy is the true, real, and the better version of the Usos, and just using him as a pawn in a situation by hyping him up. I mean, that could be a possibility. It could go to Jey Uso end and try doing that. But we'd basically be seeing Seth Rollins be Roman Reigns, which we're technically seeing anyway in this situation. But Seth Rollins is not exactly in control with this situation, with this group. It's more Paul Heyman. As we've seen the last couple of weeks, as time has unfolded in front of us with this storyline, we're starting to notice that Paul Heyman's really pulling the strings and not Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins more like just a pawn in Paul Heyman's game here. Roman, when he had his group with Paul Heyman, Roman was calling all the shots, though. Seth ain't. He's a beta leader in this situation. Just based on the way things look, at least. But this matchup to open the show was fantastic. I do apologize if I'm messing up on I'm just fucking tired. It's been a long day. But yeah, freaking Bronson Reed had a good matchup. I enjoyed this opener. It was a fantastic match. 4 out of 5 stars without question. Next we had Tiffany Stratton going up against Stephanie Vaquer. I'm not impressed with Stephanie Vaquer. The fans don't seem to be impressed with her. Her crowd reactions suck. Tiffany Stratton had a massive ovation when she came out. People were extremely excited to see her, and Stephanie, it's like, okay, great, she's here. Wonderful. So, it's not like people actually care about Stephanie Vaquer, and why should they, honestly? I'm not very fond of what she does at all. I mean, do I think she's talented? Yeah, but does she have any substance to her? No. They need to build her up. I'd rather see Roxanne Perez walk around with the Women's Championship. At least there's a story on the horizon as time goes on with her carrying that belt. We have a Liv Morgan situation that will come about once she gets back from her injury. So if Roxanne Perez is carrying around the Women's World title and then Liv Morgan comes into the picture, we then have a story centered around the World Championship, which would make a lot of sense and would be over a title that Liv Morgan, she did lose the title while she was still there. She just, didn't get the injury while she was with the WWE Championship around her waist, or world title, whatever you want to call it. That ain't even the point. Point being is that Liv Morgan is going to be looking to get revenge on Roxanne Perez, and what better way to do that than with Roxanne Perez with the Women's World title? There's a story at the end of the tunnel from all that. So that's why I would say Roxanne Perez would be a better suit for this, number one. Number two, I think she does get better crowd reaction. And I don't think Stephanie Vaquer is terrible. I just think that she hasn't developed a presence to the audience yet, and they're just kind of pushing it a little too quickly. I think she's being rushed. I don't think she should have had this title to begin with, but I do understand that what we got here with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley later on in the night teaming together against the Kabuki Warriors is probably the explanation as to why Io Sky did not win the Women's World title at that time back at WrestlePalooza last month. So what they're doing made sense now, but long-term wise, based on crowd reactions and everything else, not so much. This match, honestly, was not bad, but it was just like, okay, fine, whatever. It's okay. It's a C+. I'd say it's a 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. But it wasn't great, folks. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you a bunch of blodge-goo bullshit. It wasn't that great. It was okay. It was fair. And that's why I say 3 out of 5 stars. Stephanie Vaquer ends up winning this matchup. Very surprised by that. They're just strapping the fucking jetpack to her and having her fly to the moon. Which, I don't know why we're not seeing the crowd reactions even match to what they're doing with her. I think Tiffany Stratton deserved this a lot more than Stephanie Vaquer, in my personal opinion. But it is what it is. Was the match, good enough to be on the card? Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this probably weakest match of them all, honestly. Next we had AJ Styles going up against John Cena. AJ Styles came out in his old TNA attire. Back when he first started in TNA in the early 2000s, like 2002 to 2006 and so on. It doesn't really match him very much in that sense, but it was cool to see him wearing the old stuff again, just for one night, being that these two are on the end of their careers, and to, kind of give a token to his how he wrestled back in the old days and so forth. It is kind of cool to see him wearing that during this event today. The match was very, very decent. I'm not going to say great, because I gotta say that outside of the Royal Rumble, I'd say the Royal Rumble match they had in 2017 over the WWE Championship, that was fantastic. This match, I'm going to say this is the third best match. I think their Money in the Bank 2016 match was probably the best. The second best, actually, to that. And then this match would be number 3. You might disagree with me on that, and that's totally fine. I mean, if your perspective of their matches in time have been different to mine, well, that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own opinion. I just honestly think this was really, really decent of a matchup. I'm still going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a very fun, enjoyable matchup. Very predictable, though, of course, but regardless of predictability, the in-ring work rate that they did was awesome. I got to give them that kind of credit. I really am not unhappy. I'm very satisfied with what they delivered here. I think they used way, way too many moves from people that are not even their move set. It's from other people's move set. Now, I grant you, I understand why they're doing it. They can't possibly have Cena face all these other people he's faced in the past, so they're basically just having him kind of reenact their moves as a way of contribute to what they've done in his career and the rivals he's had. And I understand that, and I can appreciate that, but it really kind of makes the moves look weak when they're kicking out of every move that they do. I mean, John Cena hit the RKO, he kicked out of that, he kicked out of other moves, he went for the... Shit. Sorry, I'm yawning. He tried to go for the running punt kick to the head, and that unfortunately did not work out. AJ Styles did a couple of moves as well. I believe he tried to connect with a pedigree in this match, but that was to no avail. There were some moves that they did in this match that was mind-boggling, especially the ending where John Cena connected with the Tombstone Piledriver from The Undertaker and then did the attitude adjustment at the end following that move. That was pretty fucking dope, actually. I kind of like that. The combination between the Dead Man and John Cena's finishing maneuvers to end the match on AJ Styles. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I'm going to give this match a 4 out of 5 stars without question. The next match on the card was Rhea Ripley and Io Sky teaming together against the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. This was a very predictable matchup, but it was a fun matchup. It had good developing story here. The emotions that Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Io Sky were having was carried over into this matchup. You can clearly see that taking place. Um, and even though they were beating the shit out of each other throughout the entire match, you could definitely tell the results of the emotion that they went through leading up to this match was. I mean, the acting in it was just over the top ridiculous. I will admit that. I mean, I've been stating that in my reviews. But the storyline development of this was good. The execution of it, not so much. And the funny thing is, I'm not even blaming the writers on this one. I think the writers' execution on it was good, what they were trying to tell. It's just the people involved were just not doing a good enough job to act out the role in these situations. So it kind of didn't hit the same way it would if someone was better capable of handling the role better, coming across more natural than coming across forced. Because to me, it just, in the storyline that they've been doing for the last month or so, has been feeling a little bit forced. Asuka just randomly returning out of nowhere and then becoming this fucking dick to Io Sky and Kairi Sane makes absolutely no sense to me. But it is what it is. But then on top of all that, you got their acting is just too over the top and ridiculous, in my personal opinion. So, it is what it is. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, they pull off the victory as they should. They walk away with the W. They're the winners of this match, and that's pretty much it. So there you go. The next thing on the card was the main event over the Crown Jewel Championship for the men. This match was good. And I mean, oh wait, I didn't give you guys a rating for the women's tag team matchup. I'm giving that a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think that was very fair and very entertaining as it came down to storyline telling that they were doing in this match. I think they did a fantastic job in. Now, the main event for the men's Crown Jewel Championship, this had good work rate, plus also it had really good storytelling. There was things that were connected into this, like I already mentioned, the attire that Seth Rollins was wearing. Fantastic stuff. Thought that was terrific stuff right there. The other thing that I enjoyed watching was the actual match itself. And Seth Rollins brought the WrestleMania 40 watch with him to this event. So that was later utilized to finish out the match. A couple of times I thought Seth Rollins was going to lose because Cody looked like he was damn near close to winning this match, and I couldn't afford another L on my betting side of things when it came to this particular match. I couldn't afford to take an L. I was down to like $75 on my account. I had some bad hits on the All Out pay-per-view event, and I also lost on the WrestlePalooza event, so I didn't do so good. Honestly, guys, I really sucked on September 20th. It was pretty bad. Only match I really won a bet on was CM Punk and AJ Lee beating Seth and Becky Lynch. So, this match, though, again, fantastic stuff. The in-ring work was good. The stories and different little things that, like imagery that resembles what happened in the past on Seth's attire, the watch that Cody gave Seth, which he utilized at the end of the match, but while he was in the Crossroads, Seth punched him right in the jaw. Perfect shot too, right in the jawline, and made it look believable. He was stunned. He fell to the mat. He then hit the curb stomp, and then performed another curb stomp for equal measure from the top rope down onto Cody Rhodes' neck and got the victory that way. And that's how he won. Now, the ending, I mean, we didn't really get... I was kind of hoping we were going to see a new member being brought into the fold of the Vision, because at the end of the day, that's pretty much where this whole thing is going to go. Is we're going to get the Vision in War Games against a group of guys that are going to be in this matchup. I could honestly see this matchup taking place being CM Punk, LA Knight, Jay, Jimmy, and possibly John Cena in this group to be part of War Games. And Jay or Jimmy turning on the team to join with Seth Rollins' team at the end of all this. They're probably going to find a new member if this is the case, because they're going to need it. Unless they do 4-on-4, which if they do 4-on-4, they're not going to need John Cena. So they're just going to need an extra man on the Vision side of things and just bring Brock Lesnar into the mix. They could definitely do that with no problem if they really wanted to. I don't know. It's totally up to them what they want to do. I think that they're probably going to stick to the normal 5-on-5 traditional War Games match, and we're just going to have to see who they go with as members of this War Games event. There is a Saturday night main event on November 1st, so they're not really going to be too keen on that just yet until they get the opportunity to do the matchup for whatchamacallit, do what they got to do on November 1st for Saturday night's main event, and then worry about the War Games build-up within that time frame. So probably, it's not probably, Saturday night's main event on November 1st is just going to be a stepping stone to the next step and direction that they're going to go with War Games and everything else, which is what's going to help us see. That's what they really should do, is use a building block towards Survivor Series, if anything else, to build more story going into this, off of like a new member, who we getting on each side of this War Games matchup, and so forth. So it's all depending on what WWE does. WWE is going to be in front of a very large crowd for Survivor Series. It's not going to be in the traditional arena sense. It's going to be on a baseball field. So it's going to be a much bigger crowd like you get for SummerSlam, WrestleMania, and Royal Rumble now. So they got to go big on this. They can't just lollygag around Survivor Series. Survivor Series is one of the big four, and it's actually the weakest. I was a fan of Survivor Series, but as time, I'd say about 2015, I think by 2015, that's when Survivor Series really became weak to me, until they brought War Games into the mix, in 2022. So they're going to have to go really big on this one to make it very appealing as to why I should care. But anyway, guys, moving past the whole leading to Survivor Series thing, I will say that this match was a 4 out of 5 stars as well. This is a very enjoyable matchup. Very close match, too. It could have gone either way based on the way things were going, but they went with the correct option, which was Seth Rollins he could not afford another loss, especially with the storyline build that they were building towards with this. So obviously, that's who they went with, and that's what needed to be done. So overall, I think this was a B show. I don't think this was super great, but it was sure as hell not boring in any way, shape, or form. There were some things that you can go back on and actually watch and revisit and enjoy watching again. I'd say about 3 out of the 5 matches on this card I would sit back and watch. I think I'd watch the Braun Breaker matchup with Roman Reigns, the AJ Styles John Cena, and the Crown Jewel Men's Championship match. The women's matches, honestly, they were easily missed. That you really, if you were to go back and watch this, it's not something you could care to go watch. The women got the short end of the stick of this show. Again, though, like I said, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky with the Kabuki Warriors, they did have storyline, but was it absolutely necessary to be on this card? Of course not. This could have been on a Monday Night Raw episode in the main event of Raw, but they put it on Crown Jewel because they were in Perth. Rhea Ripley's from there. Of course they're going to do that, and that's the right thing to do anyway. So putting her on the card wasn't a terrible thing, but this match really could have been more suitable for a main event on Monday Night Raw than being on a pay-per-view level card, in my personal opinion. So that's my reasoning why, if I was to go back and watch this match, I would skip anyway. And like I said, the Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Vaquer, it wasn't bad in-ring work, but it just didn't have the substance of a pay-per-view level type of matchup to me that got me intrigued to want to sit here and watch it again. That's just my viewpoint on that. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say at this time. So you know what to do. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you guys very much for watching. And have a great night, guys. Bye.